Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our next live stream. It's been a while since we've done a UK-based one, and today we're coming to you with a very special one, which is themed about Christmas topics. Today, the hosts of this webinar are myself, James. I will be in the background and also helping with the Q&A at the end of the session. We also are joined by Jamie, who is our sales manager for the south west of England. I will get that right. Welcome to you, Jamie.
Thanks, James. Afternoon, everyone.
It's good to have you back. You obviously were in our last webinar as well, but today we have a new special guest who is Craig. It's his first ever webinar. He is our product manager for Gateway Products. Welcome to you, Craig.
Hi, James. Hi, everyone. Nice to be here.
Nice to have you with us, Craig. Thank you. Now, I'm going to start off by saying, obviously, the guys didn't get the memo. I purposely came in prepared for this webinar with my Christmas jumper, but I guess I'm just a bit early, a bit too excited. What the guys are going to do though throughout this webinar is they've got some great products which you can easily make yourself on your laser. They're made from various different materials. They're going to talk to you a little bit about the process. We've got some good videos and they're going to show you the products at the end. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Jamie and Craig, who are going to take you on a little journey through the different products you can make with your laser. Over to you guys.
Thanks, James.
Thanks, James.
Welcome everybody. Thank you very much for joining us to start with. As normal in these webinars, please feel free to comment and chat away in the box there. We'll try and pick up any questions as we go, and as always, we've got a little Q&A towards the end of the session as well. First off, like I said, thank you, welcome. General process of this webinar for this Christmas session will be very much inspiration from ourselves. Please accept that we are mere sales guys. It's all very much myself and Craig. We're going to do some basic information, just trying to inspire you to use different materials and what maybe a couple of little tips and tricks of what we do to certain materials for processing. We've got a couple of different machines we're going to use as well, just to kind of broaden the range here. And like James said, we'll show you the product, finished product, as well as the process videos as well. So without further ado, we'll jump straight into our first application, where we're going to be cutting some paper and card. So I'm going to pass over to Craig, who's going to run us through the first one here. So I'll just add that one in.
Thanks, Jamie. Yeah, this is just a basic paper snowflake using our own LaserPaper 300 GSM. This color is metal gold. It's been produced on our R400, which is our entry-level glass tube machine from our new glass tube range. As I said, this is a 60-watt machine. They're also available in a 100-watt machine. Just a little tip on here. You see the blue tube on the right-hand side of the laser head. That's the air assist. We've had that turned right down on here, and we also recommend having the bed clean, which I didn't do the first time I did it, and so we had some wood residue on the back. So I'd recommend just having a clean bed for that. As with all glass tube machines, there's a little bit of extra kit that's required with it. We provide the chiller, the compressor for the air assist, and the standard out-to-air exhaust on that machine as part of the package. So back to you, Jay, for your
thank you, mate. Yeah, brilliant. Very much. We're just going to do it first off, a little comparison here. So I'm going to run with a Speedy 100 now, running the same paper card, but this one we're using a metal galvanized finish, better known as silver. Just to show you a bit of speed process between the two. So like Craig said, with the R400, we're using a glass tube. On this one, Speedy 100, we're using a 60-watt ceramic tube. And slight differences in these machines, we're using a servo motor in this one. We've got the air assist is built into the machine, which we can control via our software. Slightly smaller bed sizes. And again, the different lensing options we can use on these machines as well. So just like Craig said, though, with paper and card, a really, really good tip is to try and make sure we have a separate bed for your paper processing and for your wood processing. It's very easy for wood processing. The machines get very dirty. And like Craig said, they get a lot of wood residue sat on the bed, which will, as we go over it with the heat, come back onto our products. So very worthwhile just making sure that you've got a separate bed for paper processing. Hopefully that gives you kind of a nice early sample of kind of the speeds between those two machines. Craig's going to show us the final product. And like I said, the idea is to give you a little bit of inspiration. So there you go, they're stuck together again.
Yeah, I mean, as Jamie mentioned, we are just sales guys with a lack of creativity, but it gives you the general idea of what can be done.
So maybe just a little process for a little garland or something, or a little tree decoration. Like I said, a little bit of color matching and coordination with various ribbons and whatnot. You'll probably get sick of the sight of this red ribbon by the end of the webinar. But first off, nice simple one to get yourselves going. Like I said, this webinar all about kind of just giving you guys some ideas, some thought patterns to various products as well. So straight off that one, we'll jump into our second product, which will be quite a standard process for a lot of our customers, will be rubber stamp making. But we thought we'd just add something a little bit extra to this one, of actually making the handles and stuff for the stamps themselves as well. So I'm using here, again, the Speedy 100 to cut out some wood veneer to make the actual handle for the stamp, which you'll get to see very shortly after the video. And then obviously straight into here now to obviously rubber stamp making. So the beauty of our machines with the Speedy range with job control is using the stamp process mode, which will automatically flip your artwork and invert it for you. So nice and easy for artwork creation. Big thing here to take into consideration, as you can see from the video here, is the amount of dust we get with rubber. So there's a lot more maintenance, a lot more cleaning to these sort of products as we go through as well. So very worthwhile just keeping note that you may want to go for slightly higher extraction if you're processing rubber. And like I say, the cleaning process after the jobs as well is just to clean that machine down after each job almost with rubber, because there's lots and lots of residue to it, lots of rubber dust, and it sticks to everything. So very much worthwhile just keeping it nice and clean as you can. And the better the more clean. That's a great English phrase. The cleaner we keep our machine, the better it is all round for the machine and obviously for actual products that we're making as well. So Craig, I think you've got the rubber stamp there as well. So again,
yeah, I have the, excuse me, my camera skills are not fantastic, but there's the rubber stamp.
So I tried to do a little end product as well, maybe onto the paper bags here as a little giveaway. We've just done one there with Happy Holidays and a little snowman, just to give you a nice little effect. And
Jamie's almost got the rubber stamp attached correctly.
As we said, mere sales guys, not application specialists here. So just gives you a couple of extra ideas here. And I said with the paper bag there, maybe just the local thing nowadays of local shopping. Thank you for shopping small. Maybe another option to go for. Obviously, your ideas and artwork will be much better than ours. So hopefully gives you a couple more ideas to fly through. Obviously, as you've seen there with, the rubber, I'll just point out there, picked up, is self-adhesive to obviously stick stuff together. Now, the wood veneer that we cut for the handle had a self-adhesive sheet applied to the back, as well as the rubber sheet itself. And as Craig said, again, my wonderful application skills highlighting the fact that I put it on upside down. But this just allows it to make sure we can actually cut through the adhesive at the same time as we're cutting the material. So it makes a nice and easy process rather than having to try and stick stuff together for making the product. So we're flying through nice and quickly here. Just going to say, this big hello from Amy. Amy, nice to see you again. She's featured a couple of times, and a big friend of Johnny's in the Midlands for us. So big welcome to Amy. Thanks for shouting out, guys. Please feel free to comment in the live chat and ask any questions as we fly through these applications. Next one in. So over to you again, Craig. I'm going to run through some leather, I believe.
Thanks, Jamie. Yeah, my favourite one. Right, what we're going to do here, some leather gift tags. This is our own LaserLeather, which is available. Sheet sizes of 813 by 508 mil, supplied in packs of 5 sheets. Again, this is a 60 watt R400. We're using raster engrave for the text and the image there, and as you can see, that was just a vector engrave using a Z offset for the circles around the text. A good tip for using glass tube is using the correction value. Sorry about that. Something's on fire. It's not the laser. Yeah, so again, we've got the air assist turned down. We've got correction levels on the engrave. So I just share my screen now just to show you that we can have an effect on the correction in our settings on each color. So in each color here, we've got the vector engrave, we've got the raster engrave and the cut.
Give us 2 seconds. Sorry, Craig, jump in. We just seem to be stuck on the materials database. We don't see. I've just got job control on screen at the moment.
Oh, have you? Let's try that. Let's cancel. Has that worked?
No, it seems to highlight the materials database, but I can't see it on screen, which is interesting.
Okay. Well, under each color, under the advanced column, we can change the correction value. So what we can do, let's get out of this.
So yeah, you're back on screen now, mate.
Sorry about that.
Sorry, yeah, I don't know what's happened there, but I'm sure most of our customers there know job control and know our database. So sorry, I'll chuck it back to you, mate.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so in the advanced column, we can change the correction value for each color. So this enables us to engrave a little bit quicker. With the nature of a glass tube, sometimes it's not quick enough to keep up with the laser head. So what we do is we can add a correction value, which gives it a boost at the acceleration and deceleration point, so that we can engrave faster.
Fantastic. And you've got the final product there that we've made as well. We've got a couple of tags.
I have indeed. Again, red ribbon, a little bit of red ribbon. But as you can see there, it's a nice touch, but it's just something different from the usual card. So yeah, it's quite impressive, and that's again, it's our design, so it's not too technical, but yeah, it's a nice little touch, I think, to add to gifts at Christmas.
Yeah, something a little bit different. One thing you mentioned there, Craig, with the Z offset. Just explain a little bit about Z offsets for guys who probably don't use it or may not have a Trotec machine. What a Z offset is.
Yes, so we've just adjusted the height of bed, so we run the laser slightly out of focus so that we can just make a thicker line, and also we can take the power out of it so it obviously doesn't cut through.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Wonderful. So another application in and out of the way. Hopefully your minds are all buzzing by now with various materials now and ideas. Like we said, we're mere sales guys giving you some hopeful inspiration today. And I want to go on to one now that actually cropped up recently that I commented on in a Facebook post on one of our forums, is doormats. Something that's really popular, especially this time of year. I think it's something that's really come on massively this year. It seems to be a real big trend for doormats this year. So what we're running is our Speedy 300 on this one. And there's a couple of things that really stood out for me. Was running it, I run it with an offset again, as Craig said, run it slightly out of focus. So I run it with a 3mm Z offset. I ran this at full power and full speed with the 80-watt CO2 ceramic core. But the big difference I found was actually running with the air assist switched off when we engraved on this product. I know I'm going to get the word Koya, I believe it's pronounced. Coconut matting is probably a better name. Normally, obviously, with wood, it will vary, but we tend to have it on and off for various applications with engraving. But really made a big difference to me when I tested this product was to have that air assist switched off. And again, using the Z offsets, just brought it slightly darker finish. We ran it in focus. We almost engraved kind of a layer away almost with the actual to the material. So we're using the Z offset. We're almost sort of burning the surface of it rather than really getting in deep into the engraving. So as this runs through, there we go. I will just come back to my screen. And if I share, sorry guys, I've just clicked the wrong button. Let me go to Solo Layout with me. There we go, and show you the final products we've got here. So as you see, come back a little bit. Really highlighted it. The duration of this, like I said, is very much we're surface marking it. So I can't guarantee that it's going to be something that's going to last for big muddy boots walking around at Christmas time, because we are just very much surface scratching it. It's more of an image thing than a long-lasting product. But effectively, we are burning into it. So as long as it's looked after, we should be all good. I've just noticed, well, we've got a question just come into the live chat here from Nadine. Nice to see you, Nadine. Thanks for joining us. Let's have a quick read through. Reading this live, so please bear with us a second. Do you have any problems with complaints because the mats lose material and this engraving is quickly no longer visible? Very much, probably just answer the question there. It's not something else that we sell. We are just producing these as samples. It's not something I can guarantee you with regards to complaints aside of losing the material. Yes, potentially, like I said, if you've got muddy boots coming in, rubbing their feet through it, there is a potential we're going to lose that material engraving quality over a period of time, because we are very much removing a surface layer of the material or just burning the surface of the material. So I think it's probably more of an ornamental thing rather than to be used 24/7 over Christmas, especially in the weather that we've got in Bristol today. It's quite horrific.
Yeah, good stuff.
Sorry, I've just seen, I think we've got another question in here live. It's asking about engraving. Did you use a regular store-bought doormat, or are there any special ones? I can tell you I've brought these from just a regular store. Wasn't anything special at all to these ones. Like I said, this one is a Acquoia coconut mat, but no, brought from a regular store. Nothing special to them whatsoever. Excellent. So moving through, sorry, I'm going to run through on to our next one. We're going to show you some live products. I think we're all done with some video content here. So I'm going to run through some other ideas just to have a little run through. So I'll start whilst we're on the wood process. Is cork. So this is just something that's 3mm cork. So this is a Laserable cork that we supply again on our web shop. This is a 3mm cork, and we've engraved and then cut out for something simple like a placemat, or also you can do smaller versions to do coasters. I've kept this one nice and clear, but again, just highlighting something a little bit different. Let's jump through. Sorry, I'll jump back to Craig. I believe you've got one as well, mate.
Yeah. I've just got a Hessian sack. This is the one my other half's got her eye on for our 20-month-old daughter at Christmas, just for one-off use. But it's quite a nice touch. It's only a cheap Hessian sack that was bought off of a major online retailer, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, this was good. What was this produced on, Jamie?
I ran that one on our Speedy 100. So it is only, like I said, a nice small little Hessian sack. But obviously very, very popular. I've seen these again over the last couple of years where people have printed onto them. Just want to show you something potentially that we could do with, we could laser them as well. So again, that one again, we ran very much low power. Run it very slightly out of focus. I think I ran that one with a 1.5mm Z offset to it. Again, just to try and take some of the heat to it. So we're just very much surface scratching it. Again, with Hessian, similar to doormats, just need to be careful there that we don't hit it too hard, because we go too heavy with it, we will go through that Hessian. And again, once you start loading stuff into it, it's just going to rip apart. So just be careful with it. Maybe look to go for slightly higher quality, thicker Hessian rather than cheap and cheerful stuff. Again, better quality, thicker material we can get to, a little bit more structural quality we're going to keep to that as well. So another one to chuck at you. Let's go to something relatively simple, which you've probably seen quite a lot of. It's just your standard kind of baubles. I just want to show, I'll highlight this one a little bit different with a couple of little processes that we've done on this one. So sorry if I just solo my screen here. Is yet again the nice red ribbon of Christmas. It is running through with obviously standard engraved. So this is a translucent acrylic. We've engraved obviously the Ruby first, or Ruby Christmas. We've cut through the first just to give you an idea of something a little bit different. And then obviously thirdly is layer up with some glitter acrylic on the top there. So one process I did do this just to make sure we got the heart in the right place was use a little vector line. So similar to what Craig did earlier on the leather, is literally just turn the power down and run cut line, turn that power right down. So we've vector engraved it really into position so that we know we're bang center of the text as well. So when we're placing that heart, we've got it in the exact position we need to get it to. So another little cheap way of putting stuff together if you're layering things up on top of each other, just maybe run a little quick vector line just to get your positions in right place.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
I think you've got the other. Have you got the other one? The other bauble?
I have, mate. Yes. Thank you for
another one of my favourites.
Through here, so hopefully you can see this. I've loaded it with some fake snow just to give it a bit more of a Christmassy look to it. But your standard kind of bauble, it's just a fillet. So what I've done originally is cut and engraved the little dog in there. If you can see that. So that's on our Trocraft Eco material. So it's like an eco-friendly MDF that we provide. And then on the surface of the bauble here, I've used our product called Trolleys Thins, which is as it is 0.5mm brushed silver Trolleys Thin. And we do this comes complete with self-adhesive on the back as standard in the sheet size, just to kind of give you an extra something a little bit different as well. So we can personalize the front or we can mark the front, but just being able to fill it as well. Obviously, there's lots of more, again, high quality baubles out there. You get glass ones that can be filled. Seems to be a real popular thing this year that I've noticed. This baubles going into being able to fill. And the beauty of, again, with lasers is the amount of materials that we can really process and enjoy. So just another little ideas, just give you a heads up, really. Again, filling baubles, adding stuff to it. So, Craig, over to you, I believe.
Yeah, really good that, Jamie. So, yeah, I've got some coffee dusters. So this is 3mm acrylic coffee dusters. We could use Mylar, which is a lot thinner, normal sort of stencil material. So I've got me, obviously, corporate mug. So if Uncle Brian comes over on Christmas Day and he wants his cappuccino, have a nice little Father Christmas on the top, or Santa Claus, depending on your preference, or just got a Merry Christmas and a snowflake on that one. Just fit over the top of the mug, away you go. So, yeah, another nice little touch for Christmas Day or whenever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nice little personal touches that you see quite often in your general coffee shops. Just something you can bring a bit home, and again, be a little bit more bespoke with. Obviously, we've done standard text there with Merry Christmas, maybe personalising it a little bit more, just extra little ideas. It's great enough. One into that, and probably one we see quite a lot of now is, and this one isn't overly Christmassy, so I've just grabbed this one as a sample out of my showroom, is your standard kind of chopping boards. Obviously, you see quite often, or we see, especially around Christmas time, is your Christmas Eve boxes. So just engraving the tops of them. And the beauty being wooden is the variety we can get with this one. So with this one, we've gone relatively deep in the engrave there. You can roughly see it on the camera to get a bit of darker color. We can also do, again, varying the powers and speeds. So what we could have done is change the text, maybe gone at 50% power, 100% speed, and got a real light marking on one line, run it at full power, full speed, and got a real sort of darker finish. And then again, running with those Z offsets again, as we've mentioned quite a bit today, is to run it out of focus, and we can run down to 10, 15 mil maybe, and really just burn the surface of it. So it just gives you another different finish effectively. Really good one to play with around with it is with wood, because you can get lots of variation of finishes, and different woods again have different reactions. So you've got things like your bamboo and that with the grains that go through it, that really highlights and stays in the engraving. Some people really like it because it's got a natural finish. Again, just lots of power and speed settings that we can run with those ones, whereas certain materials you'll find that you've got one power and speed settings that are the only way it's going to react. So always worth having a real look around at these sort of things. And going on to one that tends to react in one way is one that I believe Craig is going to show us now.
A full bottle of wine, may I add? Yeah,
Might
this
not be
is
after this, though.
no, it might not be. Yeah, it's just basically, this is obviously an engagement, not Christmas based, but obviously gives you an idea. I think it was more to share what we've actually used. Jamie, I think you did this one.
I did, yes, mate. So I used a product on this called Rub and Buff. So it's like a metallic-y paint that you rub over the surface of the engraving. So we run the engraving as normal with a rotary attachment, which I will highlight very shortly. And glass tends to react in one way. There's lots of tips and tricks that out there of using wet paper towels. Some people use masking. I've seen some people use wallpaper paste, which came from one of our sales guys up north. He was trying it out. Apparently came with relatively good effects as well. Just to try and take that initial impact, so you're not cracking the glass as such. We're getting a lot more of that frosted soft finish. And then what we've used there on that one was a product called Rub and Buff, as I said, which is basically rub it on and then immediately buff it off effectively, and the paint sticks to the engraved area and just buffers off the glassware. So they do a range of metallic finishes, as well as some whites, I think, and a bit of red. It's not a product we sell, unfortunately, but you can find it on most of the online stores, the most popular ones out there. But with the Rotary, we've also got a little video just to finish off the last video. I lied earlier. We've got one more to go. So obviously a Rotary attachment, for those of you who haven't got one or haven't seen one, the laser works in the same way. So we move left and right and raster over the top. And just bring that through. And then the Rotary attachment basically clamps the product and rotates the product. So as you can see here, the Speedy 300 we're using today on this one, the laser head arm comes straight into the center point of the rotary attachment for us. So all we need to do is find the center point of your cup or your mug. We use the red dot pointer as a live feedback, so you can get that nice central position. And then, like we said, just moves left and right, rasters across, and the product moves around. So on this video, we're using one of our Laserable coffee mugs. So one of the products that we sell, again, on our web shop. And as this goes through, I'll just let this one finish so you can see it. But we do a range of, again, each obviously machine size comes with a machine, comes with a rotary attachment as an added extra, basically. So you can add it on at any point. It just plugs into the side of the machine. And like I said, it takes off that Y-axis movement, so it stays nice and central to the rotary attachment. And we're almost finished there. So as we come through, I can start that one in, and I will show you the live product. So hopefully you can see this here. Again, let me just solo my screen quickly. There we go. So all we've done is effectively remove that paint layer that's on the cups themselves. So the stainless steel cups with the precast painted, and we've just removed that paint layer to give you a nice finish. And lighting here is not great, so I'm trying to get it to so you can see through of a nice stainless steel cup finish. Yeah, so hopefully there's a Claire out there somewhere gasping for a coffee because but while we're on that, I was just going to show you on the rotary attachment for those of you who may not yet register for Ruby. I know there isn't a lot of time left. We need to get on there before the end of November, so please get in contact with your sales guy to talk about Ruby and the benefits of Ruby. I just want to show you one real benefit of Ruby with the rotary attachment while we're on the rotary attachment is as we come through. So this is Ruby. The red line in the center here is our center line. And obviously we've got our graphic that we're using here for Claire's coffee. The rotary attachment is the little symbol at the top here where we put our diameter. And then we have the option here to show a 3D effect. So this shows us now our design on the cylindrical object. And we can actually animate this feature as well. Ooh, I'll slow that down a little bit. so you can see exactly where your design is. If you're not happy with it, just stop that one. We can move the design down, we can move it up, we can move it around wherever it needs to be. Again, I'm not connected live to a machine at the moment, so we would have obviously the crosshair live feedback crosshair on here as well, so you can snap to your job. But I really like this new feature of the rotary attachment to be able to see exactly where you're positioning this along your cut. So to also make the size here, we can use the coordinates from the X and Y positions to make the cut bigger or smaller. And then we'll position it again, like I said, with the live feedback, you'd have the crosshair on screen, we can snap to it. But being able to animate it makes it a lot easier, especially if guys have seen a lot of people out there looking to do both sides of a glass, for example. So you can work with your diameters, but you can always check on here before you run it that you've got your diameter and circumference measurements right to make sure you're directly opposite each other.
Good feature.
Yeah, I love it. It's great little just gives you that peace of mind when you're running a rotary attachment. Excellent. I think that brings us towards the end of every product. I don't think we've got any left lying around, Craig, have we?
I don't think so. No, I think that's us done.
Wonderful. Well, we'll just run through, see if there's any questions here in the live chats. We've got one here. Looks like the guys have answered it. So excellent. So anyone there that's got any live questions, feel free to jump them in. I know we've got a couple that were asked for before the webinar. So we've got one here. Let's just jump onto this one. Any suggestions for metal applications for Christmas? Metal applications, again, require obviously fiber laser. Unfortunately, we don't do a fiber laser strong enough to cut any metals. So the applications I can think of off the top of my head would be kind of marking, personalizing already metallic products. So things I've seen out in the field would be something like cutlery sets. So you can get, I've seen them for first babies. One of my customers does them. Just personalizing a knife, fork, spoon. We also do things like our Trotec metallic range. So that's actually a plastic. So then we can actually cut and engrave it. So again, various baubles. Your imaginations are much better than ours. So trying to inspire you on the spot. It's probably not
as I think everyone's seen during the
absolutely. But actually saying that I have got is one more video. So I keep saying there's no more videos, but we have got one more video I wanted to share with you. If I can just quickly share my screen here. Is application that's on our YouTube. So if I hit full size, this one is something a little bit more inspirational with a range of products. That really comes into our Trotec Laser materials. So it's a Trotec Laser metallic material here for the door numbers. So an advent calendar that we've kind of made 3D with a great little display. So one of our colleagues here actually made this one for us, and we've got a little video of how it's all kind of put together. So we've used a range of materials from veneered MDF, again, with various finishes, actually making the main housing. We then use that Trotec metallic as a front color and then bound it all together. So we've got a nice advent. Then used self-adhesive spray to put some laser paper onto some pre-cut card. And we're looking here to basically layer it up. So as you can see there at the bottom, layers up to give us a kind of 3D effect image at the top of the house. And then finished off with a bit of LED lighting to brighten it up a bit for us. So a little bit more in-depth and a bit more creative than myself and Craig, that we've jumped in with a nice 3D product and finishing off with, again, some self-adhesive. I think that's some ADA Trolleys and then some green on white Trolleys material. So this is 2-ply laminates that we've cut and engraved all of these products to give you a nice, real good finish. As the final, yeah, really good, that one. Really enjoy seeing these. We've also seen, as you'll see, if you pop into our into any of our showrooms is some of the pop art we do with acrylics. So layering up acrylic to give sort of a 3D effect. And sorry, jumping through, just trying to multitask here. Not, again, one of my strengths.
There's a question come in, Jamie, from Ross. It says, who can we contact about changing from job control to the Ruby software?
Best contact Ross would be your local area sales guy. He can walk you through it, talk you how to register it. You can actually register through our website and download Ruby now with the latest version of job control, and then basically get a super admin password to log all your details in, and then your local area sales guy is probably the best person to contact. If you don't know who that is, just give the main office number a ring, let them know where you're calling from, and they'll be able to help you out and pass you over to each individual.
Thanks, Jamie.
Excellent.
Thanks, Amy.
There we go. Yes, thank you, Amy. Definitely, again, check out the materials website. We've got the what am I looking for? Web shop. So you can register for your own web shop, which will then be able to register. You can get prices and stuff on there as well. And obviously, feel free to give the girls in the office a ring. Really, really helpful, really nice, and be able to give you some tips and tricks all the way through as well on the web shop, on our website. And you can reach us, if I again try and multitask nice and simply, at engraving-supplies. And again, little tips and tricks as well, guys, is just keep an eye out on our YouTube channels. That's why you're here. And also have a look through our website. We've got a knowledge page on our website with a lot of DIY samples where we've highlighted some actual sample files and the materials we've used and the settings we've used. And you can actually download some of the settings as well, so you can use it straight away. So you can get some really good ideas on various materials as well. Really helps out a lot of our customers. So please feel free to have a scour around. Again, if you're not too sure and too much, give guys a ring. Your local area sales guy, he can point you in the right direction.
Good stuff. There was another question, Jamie. I think the CO2 versus diode question.
Oh, yeah, let me just jump in. There we go.
There we go.
So interesting, using a laser for wool and card. Trying to decide with CO2 laser or diode laser would be better. To be honest, I've never used a diode laser. It's not something we supply, so can't really comment on whether that's going to be any better or worse for you. CO2 laser, absolutely for card. For wool, really, I would say you need to test it. Depends on the wool. I've had some very mixed results with fabrics. Bizarrely, I'm laughing here because I've tested some cotton wool, bizarrely of all things, which really wasn't worthwhile trying. It's very, very prone to flaming, and obviously straight away the flame came in and cotton wool disintegrates rather quickly. So I stick away from that. For standard wool, not one I've tested. Like I said, I've tried cotton, I've tried fleece, I've tried denim, all these sort of fabrics. Yes, wool, probably with the fibre, kind of due to the fabric, you've kind of got a lot of fibres loose. It's probably more of a fire hazard than anything. So really worth giving you guys a ring, supplying the wool that you want to trial, and let us give it a test. And we'll be pretty honest with you. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and we'll tell you why.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, they're obviously saying you're considering to buy a cheaper laser to see how it all works. Really worth diving into that. Come and speak to us. All of our sales guys here, because we can really aspect all ends of laser. We've brought out the new Gateway product with Craig there, the glass tube machines, as well as obviously our core range of the ceramics. There's lots of possibilities, and it will really vary. So what I always say is, don't necessarily always look for the cheapest option, because there are obviously pros and cons to both. And if you're looking at really lowering your power levels there, I think as Craig mentioned earlier, the glass tube doesn't output quite so well at the lower power. So your power of the actual laser tube is very important on a glass tube, which is slightly different to a ceramic core tube. So please feel free, give us a ring, get in contact with us, let us kind of explore it with you, and talk you through the pros and cons of each of those.
Yeah, absolutely that, Jamie. I'm more than happy to have a conversation about the glass tube range and do some testing and demonstration if necessary.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And so I've just seen one more. I think Amy's been in again. Is the Ruby software only for speed? I think that's meant to be Speedy machines. Yes, it is at the moment. Long-term view is that it will roll out to our large format machines and hopefully eventually then onto our gateway products. It's all very much working with Austria, working the process at the moment. But as it stands of today, yes, Ruby software is only for Speedy lasers at this point in time. But long-term, stick with us. It's definitely on the roadmap to come out across our range.
Excellent, good stuff. I think we're running out of time, Jamie. I think we need to.
I think we've hit our limit for our webinar.
Get the wonderful James back involved.
Is he going to join us? There he is.
Oh, brilliant.
Hi guys, I can put my jumper on too. I brought it in for a reason. I'm not missing out wearing it.
Must have inspired you, mate.
See, I'm closing my hair nearly. No, great webinar there. As everyone said, I'm glad everybody enjoyed it. Really, lots of good inspiration there. Obviously, you didn't need me for the Q&A, which is a good thing.
I don't know, mate.
Honestly, thank you. I hope everybody really did enjoy that. The guys have done really well coming up with the ideas for the different products. On another note, Craig has shown you some leather throughout this. Stay tuned tomorrow on our socials. There's going to be something new, another bit of inspiration for our leather. And there's also some special news about the leather as well. So stay tuned tomorrow for a bit of information about that. Also, any product inspiration, or I do say any products you create, please tag us in them on social media. Use hashtag TrotecUK. We'll see them, share them. Happy to see anything our customers make. And obviously, the guys have done themselves a disservice. What they've made is really good. But, you know, they're humble. They say they're just sales guys, but they're humble.
Thank you.
But anyway, thank you everybody for tuning in, and of course follow us on social media, etc., for when our next live streams are, and we will keep you up to date. But in the meantime, it's thank you from me for the little bit of work I actually did in this. It's thank you from Jamie and Craig as well, and we hope you all have a good day, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks very much. Thanks.
Take care, everyone.